How's it going?
Good. Yourself?
I'm well. So, hey, I'm Eric. I'm a professor in population health sciences at Duke. What led you down the road to wanting to research this topic?
It was really just around wanting to be able to provide patients that were considering or being consulted with their oncologist about starting this new class of medicines, providing them with some realistic expectations of both therapeutic and adverse outcomes. Get the balance between the hype around data, transparency, which was meant to be a mechanism where pharmaceutical companies were going to make the IPD from trials kind of available so that the patients that had contributed to those trials were kind of having the full benefit of the data that they'd helped generate. 4 years on, we've been able to access a small amount of data, which was on the ubamassaclib, and we're still in the processes of trying to negotiate access to palbociclib and ribociclib. But we do hope that this kind of one paper with neutropenia and then with pulling together multiple similar trials or using the same medicine, we're able to tease out based upon demographic data who's more likely to get this adverse event. And I think that that's important for involving patients within the shared decision-making process about giving realistic expectations to treatments.
So, how did you hear about Vivli?
I was doing a PhD, which happened to be in rheumatoid arthritis, and I was studying a specific drug called flutamide. We were struggling to recruit patients into a study where we were trying to understand whether therapeutic drug monitoring could be important for the drug. I put in a request that resulted in no access to any data at all. We did a paper trying to systematically assess transparency, and then through that process, I was lucky enough to come across Vivli.
How do you think this paper has moved forward in the advancement of treatment of cancers, understanding of side effects and things like that?
The paper itself, I think it has value in terms of being able to say this is a description of this person's individual risk based upon their age, based upon their ethnicity, based upon their current neutrophil and platelet counts. This is their current potential risk in neutropenia, but it's also kind of helping us to develop methodologies for using large scales of IPD. And then we're kind of working on trying to standardize the wealth of data across breast cancer.
Tell me a little bit about accessing the data from the standpoint of the usability of the data.
In terms of how that kind of regulator guideline and then those specific data sets are transferring across to independent researchers that are accessing through these platforms. When a company is new to the transparency part, they seem to cut a lot of information out. And it often approaches one of the fears, which is that the independent researcher will make mistakes in interpreting. Vivli and processes like it are really the only places that we've ever had to pull together drugs from multiple different companies. The data that gets shared is usually more complete, more standardized.
If you had the opportunity to improve this process or even to evolve the Vivli platform, what would you recommend?
I think the Vivli platform works particularly well. I think that one of the major things to fix in transparency is probably around a standardization of policies across companies. In cancer, an inability to access drug information after completion of primary results is fundamentally not transparency because the drug will have been used in thousands and thousands of patients before the final completion of a study is done. I think that's achievable, which is that in cancer we share data once the drug, its registration is being backboned by this trial.
Anything else that you kind of your own ideas, your own thoughts about the study or about using the platform that you'd like to share?
It's quite an easy process to be able to use Vivli in terms of you have an idea and you're able to write it up and then submit it on the Vivli platform, and then the team at Vivli will work with you to try and work out some of the concerns that maybe they're preempting that the companies would have, because obviously the Vivli team has seen many applications previously, so they have amazing insights to people that are trying to start with the platform. They're always willing to help you formulate your idea and get it to a point which the company would be willing and wanting to engage in that research being done. The team that's behind actually generating the data and keeping the actual environment working and making sure that the tools available for you to be able to do your analysis, they're quick and expedient so that the research can be done in a timely manner. I think Vivli is great.
Well, thanks. This has been great. Thanks so much for talking with me this evening.